lady. Generally, people say first lady for a president's wife or a spouse, but for us, she's a first lady in a lot of ways. One, of course, she is wife of Shubh Vilas Prabhu, who has been so instrumental in getting this whole building. And also, she's amongst those first Prabhupada's disciples here in Toronto. So it's Ashalata Mataji who is going to be our speaker for today. So Ashalata Mataji has been serving, ISKCON has been serving Srila Prabhupada and the whole society for more than 55 years. And I truly believe this, that any lady of the house has a very significant role to play. Not just in supporting the husband, not just in raising the kids, but also to create a beautiful Krishna-conscious, conducive environment at home. And clearly, she has done that so beautifully well. When I talk about beautiful, she's beautiful outside. When you speak to her, she's even more beautiful, always smiling, always speaking so nicely, and she has a mellifluous voice, and that's also the reason that she has, taken out these 5 CDs which are on kirtans, on bhajans, and on different poems. So if any one of you want to download online, that's also available. You can check that as well. For all wonderful services that she has been doing, including the garden making, we see her as a pujari, and so many other things. It's such an inspiration. And today, she'll be sharing more memories. Like I said last week, this is the part 2. So sharing more memories and glories of Srila Prabhupada with Ashalata Mataji. That's our session today. So let's give her a huge Hare Krishna. Let's put up our hands and say Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! So we welcome Mataji with hundreds of applause. Thank you, Mataji, for being with us. Today's session.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari is, but some might not know who Srila Prabhupada is. Srila Prabhupada is a great Mahatma who was sent by Lord Shri Krishna as his direct messenger to this earth to deliver the fallen souls like us. Srila Prabhupada, Guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj told Srila Prabhupada to go to West when he found out that Prabhupada knows English. To know English in those days was very big thing. So he instructed Srila Prabhupada to go to West and preach. So Srila Prabhupada took his instructions by the heart, and when the right time came, he went to the West to preach. With nothing in the hand, just Srimad Bhagavatam. And he came to the West, he had to face so many difficulties, so many hindrances, obstacles, but Srila Prabhupada despite all the obstacles, he conquered and completed his mission and he became victorious. Now we know today how many temples of ISKCON in the whole world. So many book distribution, so much prasadam distribution, and so many devotees all around the world. And so many prasadam and so many Hare Krishna devotees and Hare Krishna chanting is going on all over the world just because of Srila Prabhupada. So that is our Srila Prabhupada. I pay my most humble obeisances unto your lotus feet, and don't I want to glorify only today, but I want to glorify my Guru Dev Srila Prabhupada every single day. That is Srila Prabhupada. Say Hari Bol, Jai Srila Prabhupada, everybody. That is Srila Prabhupada. So with the mercy of Guru, with the mercy of Krishna, we get the Guru. And with the mercy of Guru, we get Krishna. So that is the way it happens. When I was in India, I will worship demigods, gods, without knowing who Krishna is, who the Supreme Lord is. When I was teenager in India, I brought so much greenery, stones, and made a scenery at home, Jhula, to celebrate Janmashtami. Still I don't know who Supreme Lord is. I was always wondering in my mind who I am, what I am, where I am, who sent me here, and where is he. That was my questions all the time in my mind coming. So that was, Krishna made the arrangement to join ISKCON and gave me all the questions. When I got married, I came to Canada and I wanted to get Krishna picture with me, but I could not bring the picture. But I brought Krishna in my heart. So in 1968, it was 1968 when Subha Vilas was going at Avenue Road and Bloor Street. And he saw some sadhus there. He could not believe it. But he took the picture of those devotees in saffron clothes and brought at home to show me. He showed me, but I could not believe it. I said, no, not on this earth sadhus are here. Because materialistic people, how come in this earth people are sadhu in saffron clothes? But he said yes. Because he had the Polaroid camera at that time, he brought the picture at home, he showed me. Yes, it was true. He showed me, he took me to Avenue Road and Bloor Street to make sure that I believe. Yes, I saw the sadhus there in saffron clothes. I could not believe it. How come on this Western world the devotees are here? Because people are Shunyavadi. They don't believe Krishna, they don't know. But there was some power behind which I did not know. That power was Srila Prabhupada behind. So when I saw those sadhus at Avenue Road and Bloor Street, we talked to them, inquired them what they were, what they are doing. So we found out their location. That was 40 Beverly Street was the location where they were doing the programs. So we started going to the temple, discussed with them, talked to them. So we found out all about it. So we started going to the temple gradually, and then, as you know, in Canada, we have the opportunity to pick up the fruit and vegetables. But in India, there is no such thing. When I came to Canada, I liked that idea, and I was picking the apples, peaches, all the fruits, and only to pick, not to eat. So what to do with those apples? So we started taking to the temple again and again. So that was going on. So that was the start of our spiritual journey to take the fruits to the temple. One Sunday, I told Suavilas that I want to go to temple in the evening. So Sunday, as you know, is very busy, doing the chores, cleaning, cooking, shopping. So I was rushing on that day so that we can go to the temple. But Suavilas, instead of going to the temple, he took us to the restaurant. When I came home, I was crying. So why are you crying? So I'm crying because I wanted to go to temple and you took us to the restaurant. So then he said, okay. From there on, we started going to the temple every Sunday. Not only every Sunday, but every day almost, in the weekdays also. So that was our start of the going to the temple and connecting to ISKCON. So at that time, devotee moved from Beverly Street to the Gerard Street. So we started going more and more and more. I took some service, doing the garlands. He did some service. So we're getting more and more involved in the temple activities. One day, I was sitting in the temple room and I saw Srila Prabhupada's picture. And my strong desire came that I want to touch the lotus feet of this Mahatma who has converted these Western people to a devotee. These Western people don't know what dharma is, and here they are chanting Hare Krishna, dancing for Krishna, deity service, 4 regulative principles and much more. Something is very amazing. So strong desire came to touch the lotus feet of this Mahatma Srila Prabhupada. So we were told that Prabhupada is coming to Chicago for the Rath Yatra. So in order to see Prabhupada, Suavilas took 2 weeks holidays and we went to Chicago to see Srila Prabhupada with Indresh and Meenakshi. And when we arrived there in the evening, it was announced, darshan time, darshan time, darshan time. So we thought that was the only time we were going to have darshan of Srila Prabhupada. So we, without washing up or anything, we rushed to see Prabhupada, and Prabhupada received us very nicely, and we made the dusty footprints on the white sheets because we were not washed up or anything. So we were so pleased to see Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was so nice, and first thing he uttered from his mouth was to Suavilas that he is a good devotee, and he told his servant to give the prasad to them. So we got strawberry prasad from Srila Prabhupada on that day. That was our luckiest day of the life when we met Srila Prabhupada. So in Chicago, we were for 2 weeks. Because Srila Prabhupada was there for the Rath Yatra for 2 weeks, and we were there for 2 weeks. Every single day, Suavilas will go to morning walk with Srila Prabhupada. And we will go in the evening for the classes and the darshans. That was very nectar there. In the evening class, one day everybody was gone and we were still sitting there. Srila Prabhupada said, everyone is gone, why you are sitting here? So Subha Vilas told Prabhupada, that my wife has come all the way from Toronto to Chicago to touch your lotus feet. That's the only reason she has come. So Prabhupada was so kind, he removed his dhoti from his lotus feet and he said she can touch it. I touched Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. My desire was fulfilled and my mission was completed. Not only me touched them, Subha Vilas touched the lotus feet and the children also. And that was the most fortunate time. So every evening he was going to the classes and the darshan time. One day I did not go in the class in the evening. So Prabhupada was so observant and he noticed that I didn't come and he asked Subha Vilas, how come she didn't come today? He was paying so much attention to us that why I was not there. So that was the Srila Prabhupada's mercy. After 2 weeks, then we had to come back to Toronto. And we didn't want to come, but we had to come. So Subha Vilas came up with the idea that we can take Srila Prabhupada's shoes with us. So he inquired what size, what color, where to get it. So he got them from the store, we colored them, dried them in the sun. And next day, their servant put the shoes, and Srila Prabhupada's shoes are very tight today. He was so conscious that servant told, yes, there is exchange of shoes, that you have new shoes and we got the old shoes. We still have those shoes of Srila Prabhupada. So that way we don't miss his association. One evening, we found out that Srila Prabhupada is coming to Detroit. And Subha Vilas thought Detroit is not too far from Toronto. So we invited him to come to Toronto. Srila Prabhupada right away said yes. He told his servant to write it in the diary. And Srila Prabhupada came to Detroit. And we went to see him in Detroit. After Detroit visit, he came to Toronto. We went to receive him at the airport also. One day, Toronto temple was very small. So we arranged the apartment for Srila Prabhupada. So one day in the evening, we went to see Prabhupada. And I was sitting So Prabhupada was sitting on the chair and we were sitting on the floor. And I was looking at Prabhupada, what he's saying. And I was not paying no attention to my japa. My japa slipped on the floor. And Srila Prabhupada said, pick up your japa. So he was so much conscious and paying attention to every single thing. So when Srila Prabhupada came first time to Toronto, so we invited him at home And she said, right away, yes, he will come. So Prabhupada came to home and we had a big program. More than 100 people were there. And big program happened. It was so much nectar there that I was showered with flowers on Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet, and Subhavilas was washing his feet, and while I was talking to him. I'm just telling you all this past and happened with us at that time. So at that time, we arranged fruits and nuts and everything. Those days, not too many Indians were in this country. Not too many Indian stores, but somehow we managed and found some chiku fruit. Chiku fruit, and I told him I can cut it. He said, no, I'll cut it. Chiku fruit was the most he liked. When Srila Prabhupada came first time, he instructed Subhavilas to obtain this building. Not one time, many times. So when he was leaving at airport, at the glass door, he instructed again to obtain that building. With the blessings and mercy of Srila Prabhupada, Subhavilas obtained this building after many difficulties, because those church people will not sell the building to the Hare Krishna people. And then he was acting like a normal Indian person. He was saying, he's an Indian person, so he was taking under his name and everything that he is buying it. So those church people asked, what you are going to do with the building? He said, we'll dance, we'll eat, we'll drink. So it was not far. We drink the nectar, we dance for Krishna. So that is the way this building was obtained. And those church people, when they found out Hare Krishna people bought the building, they said they would have burned it rather than giving to the Hare Krishna people. That was the way they were treating us. But anyways, with the blessings and mercy of Prabhupada, this building was obtained. And then second time, when the first time Prabhupada came, we asked him, when you are coming next? Prabhupada said, when this building is obtained, then he will come. Then as he promised, after that he sent the letters, congratulations and everything else. Then Prabhupada fulfilled the promise. He came second time, and when Prabhupada came second time, we invited him again at home. And he did come second time also. That is our Prabhupada. And when Prabhupada had walked through this building, the downstairs, upstairs, everywhere. And he said, I like this building, I like it, can I stay here? Yes, Prabhupada, yes, you can stay. So Prabhupada is still present here, staying with us. Because of his mercy, this building was obtained by the effort of Subhavilas, and we thank Prabhupada for that. So meantime, at 1975, when we were serving, we were asked to take the initiation. But we were not certain if we should take the initiation or not. Because especially me, didn't want to take the initiation. And I was thinking, if I get the initiation, too many do's and too many don'ts, I don't want initiation. After so much, I can want serve, but no initiation. But finally, we were convinced to take the initiation. At that time, it was end of 75, deities are moved, devotees are moved, we came here. The initiation mamla was still going on. Get the initiation. I said, no, I don't want the initiation. Anyways, Pujari in this house right there, Pujari set up banana trees, mango trees, all the fruits, everything is set. But I am hiding away out there in the Pujari area, stairs go up there, and I'm hiding, I don't want initiation. Anyways, but with the mercy of blessings of Prabhupada, I changed my mind and I came, looked at Radha Gopinath, and sat down there on the mat, and we got the initiation. If I didn't get it, that was foolish on my part. If we didn't get the initiation, I would have missed the boat. But that was a fortunate thing happened that I got the initiation. So when Prabhupada came second time, he spent 1 week here. So same way, Subha Vilas will go in the morning walks, and we will go for the darshan time and classes in the evening. There was so much nectar going on there. Second time when Prabhupada came, first he went to Detroit and then came to Toronto. But in Detroit, we went to see him. And their servant will not let us go to see Prabhupada. Then what we don't know what to do. So somebody suggested us, some devotee, he write a note and put it in envelope and send it to Prabhupada. So we did that. It worked. When Prabhupada found out we are there, all of a sudden, devotees were looking for us. So we went to see Srila Prabhupada, spoke to him sometimes, and I told Srila Prabhupada, please keep us in your lotus feet. And Srila Prabhupada replied, you are already. How pleasing. He said, you are already in my lotus feet. When Prabhupada came here, I had a list of questions from him. And lots of questions, I don't remember, or one question was to him, if Vishnu came from Krishna or Krishna came from Vishnu. Srila Prabhupada said, Vishnu came from Krishna. That was the answer. Second time when Prabhupada came here, in the front of the building, the good picture was being taken. And Indresh was standing little bit away. Srila Prabhupada called him closer, put him near him, gave the rose flowers, and then the picture was taken. And when Prabhupada came first time, Indresh offered him the piggy bank. Prabhupada said, when I come next time, fill it up and then I'll take it. Second time when Prabhupada came, he took his piggy bank, brought it to the mandir and counted, took the money and gave the piggy bank back to Indresh. So that is another pastime. So the day Prabhupada was leaving Toronto, on that day we went upstairs in his quarters, upstairs or up there, and we were alone there, no one else was there. Prabhupada said, we were leaving and he said, just wait. So we waited and Prabhupada went to his room and brought his own personal, beautiful saffron blanket. We still have that blanket. I could not believe it, how much affection he was showing to us. If I remember that scene, I cried. He's such a great Mahatma. How he was treating, he gave us so much affection. When Prabhupada went from Toronto, we were writing the letter back and forth to him. Even Meenakshi wrote a letter to Srila Prabhupada and he replied. Prabhupada did not neglect anybody. He is such a great Mahatma. We have many articles of Prabhupada where Srila Prabhupada said the tables he ate on and Srimad Bhagavatam he wrote on. So much stuff we still have which Prabhupada used. In 1976, we went to visit India and it happened that Srila Prabhupada were there. So again, every morning we will attend the classes in the evening darshan times. One evening when we were talking to Prabhupada in Vrindavan, in his room, Indresh fell to sleep. And when we were leaving, we were picking Indresh, Srila Prabhupada said, just leave him here, I'll take care of him. When Indresh got up, Prabhupada brought him, holding his finger to our room. That is Prabhupada. Great Mahatma and taking care of everything. When we were visiting Vrindavan, for 3 days, we went to see the other temples like Shamkund, Radhakund, Mathura, Gokul, all those dhams, and we were not there for 3 days. The Prabhupada said, when we came back, where were you 3 days? So he was so observant, he was paying so much attention that where we were. So we told him that we went to see other places. So there are so many other pastimes. I simply want to thank you, Prabhupada, thank you and thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Please make us serve you, your ISKCON and Radha Krishna for generations after generations after generations. Forever and ever and ever. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Ashrata Mataji. One more time, let's say Hari Bol. When I was listening to the entire session, Mataji, I can't even believe, for people like us, we might have read Prabhupada and Amrit and heard and seen, or maybe about those pastimes, but to be with Prabhupada all the time, and from starting the temple service by picking up the fruits, to getting the first fruit from Srila Prabhupada, strawberry that you mentioned, to getting that blanket from Prabhupada, to be able to touch Prabhupada's lotus feet, and to hear those kind of comments that Prabhupada mentioning that you are already at my lotus feet. This is so personal, so intimate. Significantly, so many things have changed. I definitely see changes. How Shubhalas Prabhu used to look earlier and now, how Meenakshi Mataji and Indresh Prabhu used to look. There's a huge difference and change now. But you happen to look very similar and same. We'll ask you your beauty secrets later. I think that's the devotion that's keeping her ever fresh and ever young. So thank you so much for sharing those things. And Shubhalas Prabhu wanted to share a few things.
I have many
You
more.
are here, everything now. So now you thank Srila Prabhupada. I want to hear it in next one. शिला बहुपाद की जय, शिला बहुपाद की जय, शिला बहुपाद की जय. We are here because of his mercy. Thank you very much.
The very more past time, there is no time, so next one. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So if you still want to know about more pastimes, then Shubhala's Prabhu is there, Ashita Mataji is here. You can always reach out to them and ask them about many other services that they have done, or you can ask them about more pastimes. Okay, so on that note, I also wanted to mention that from tomorrow, which is January 13th, we are starting our online Bhagavad Gita overview session. That's an absolutely free session, so if any one of you want to join from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., you can look at the notice board. I remember last time I made an announcement about the notice board and I said in my imaginary world, somebody came up to me and they said, Prabhu, how's your imagination going? And I told him, I said, well, we'll see next time about my imagination. Also, we have the online Bhakti Shastri course happening. So that already